common denominator.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Everyone has access to the information. We just know how to analyze it better.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man.
Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to another live episode of Learn Crypto. My name is Nick Hellman.
I'm Todd Butterfield.
We are the one-stop shop for crypto and stock technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and news. Today, of course, we're going to have the Todd Father looking at the charts. Is Bitcoin heading for new lows, or did we already make a major low? And you should really be focusing on accumulation and low-risk entries to keep fattening up those bags. Also, we're going to talk about how Coinbase continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And then that's really about it. No major news, no major fundamentals. I know the Ethereum Classic Summit, I think that might be starting today. We do have Swell Conference starting the first week of November, as well as an XLM conference in November. So we'll kind of see how those go and if they affect the price action. If you are in Patreon and Discord or been following along on YouTube, Ethereum Classic and the last major drop for Bitcoin did wick down to our buy zone on the ETC BTC buy area. It has been slowly bleeding, so we have been saying to keep an eye out for that, and maybe the Ethereum Classic Summit will turn that ship back around. We are slightly up on that. You got anything else to add, Todd?
Not too much. What's up, Gary?
Let's make sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you love free cryptocurrencies, leave a comment in the comment section below with your RPD wallet address or your Telegram handle if you are in the RPD tip bot. We will also be drawing the winner from the last live show during this show as well. I guess we'll jump right into this over on CoinMarketCap. So for everybody who's been following along, you may not be in all the trades you are, but definitely if you are in patreon.com/learncrypto and the private Discord, you are up huge on Link, you are up big on Atom, you're up on ETC, 0x, Aeon, and slightly up or break even on Bitcoin and Ethereum after a major sell. If you were in the Discord, we sold at 10,000 or got stopped at 99.25, only to buy back at 7,800 to 8,200. So we're not really emotional, even though things have been pretty sideways and a little bit down. Like I said, Link, we're up something like 35% for the second time in a row. Atom is continuing higher, as well with the other coins I just mentioned. Now, Bitcoin dominance is down to 67.6%. This is partially due to some of the altcoin outperformance that we have seen recently, including Ethereum Classic, Link, and Atom, as well as 0x trying to find its way out of this symmetrical triangle as well. The market capitalization is $217 billion. I need to see this back in the 3s, the 4s, the 5s, and hopefully into the trillions by hopefully around May of 2020, because that would be the halving for Bitcoin. We'll discuss that and my prediction for Bitcoin price around May of 2020 here shortly, as CCN did publish me in an article like they've been doing Todd recently for a lot of his technical analysis. So, we don't charge for our opinion. If people want to blog about us, that just means more people hearing our name, more people hearing our analysis, more people in this YouTube community, as well as the Patreon community. Bitcoin at $8,183. Ethereum at 173, trying to hold that 170 level. It defended it pretty well earlier today. It did go to like 169.50 and quickly rebounded from there. So we'll keep a close eye on that 170 level. We do have stops slightly lower than that to try to protect some of the positions we took during the major sell-off Bitcoin had when it went to 7,800. Bitcoin Cash still doing its thing at 221. Litecoin, $56. $56. That is crazy. Been a massive lagger since the run leading into the Litecoin halving that sent it as high as 140, 145 bucks. Now down to 56. I mean, we sold Litecoin and we thought it was going lower, but I don't know if either of us really saw a $56 Litecoin in the cards, especially with Bitcoin holding an $8,200 price level.
Right. No.
And then big winners for today, not too much. Centrality up 62%. Holy cow, but $131,000 volume. If you hold centrality, sell it now. Don't be greedy. Take the massive green, put it into Bitcoin, and be happy with that. Factom up 7%. IOST up 7%. Basic attention token up 5. Basic attention token, we said the floor may be somewhere around there, 15, 16 cents. It is battling from those levels back up to 17.5. Working product, working use case. They just haven't really figured out a way to keep that money cycling and staying in basic attention token rather than people taking the freebies and just selling them to the open market. If they can shore up the way to keep people using the basic attention token or further purposes and value props for that token, I think it has a bright future. But until then, they are gaining the users, but all the users are taking that token, selling it for Bitcoin or cash, and that is just not going to help with price appreciation after that 45-cent run-up we saw just a month ago. And then Digibyte still under a penny. That is pretty crazy, but it is up 2.81%. 0x trying to battle out of that symmetrical triangle I was telling you about, now over 21 cents. If that thing can get a little bit higher, I think that would be a confirmation to the upside, and I think 0x could see some nice gains.
LTC did have a happening from 140 to 56.
That is true. All right, let's toss it to Todd for the charts. Then we'll come back over just a couple brief news articles I have. We'll do the giveaway winner from last live show. And, of course, we'll go to the comment section for your fundamental or TA questions and just kind of hang out and shoot the shit for a little bit. There is the Cardinals playoff game tonight. There is an NFL game, so we wanted to get on here a little bit earlier. I skipped lunch at the office gig to get down here a little bit earlier so I can go home, relax, and watch some of those sporting events with the Bitcoin chart in the background.
Not a lot of new to add here. I mean, we're looking at, we had a buy on the software when we had that breakdown to 7,800, 8,000. So we're still working off of that. Technometer now is around 42. So we've came up oversold. Obviously, because the selling has stopped here. You can see we're down here doing this sideways action on the 4 hour. The technometer still supports higher. If we look at it, this is Bitcoin USDT, 5-minute intraday. You can see your volume is almost coming down here to a new low for the move, while price is still holding from that 7,700 low to 8,100. So I still think, I'm still leaning that we're trying to make a low here. This could be a 5 waves off the low, ABC down. A lot of people are calling this a 4th wave. If we look at, a lot of people want to say, let's look at this here. A lot of Ellioticians are calling a 4th wave here in the green, and that could be over with. You could label things a little different here and say that we're headed down below 7,700 one last time. That would be a major low. That is possible. Or we could still have a rally to 86, 8,700, and then a break to a new low. Or you could say that the low's already in, that we had this 4th wave here. That was the 5th. So different ways to count it. I'm leaning that we're still higher. Make a decision at 86, 8,700 if maybe that is a 4th wave with a new low to come. And then the other thing is this is a possible Elliott wave count too. And this we need 5 waves down from this red B. And we've had that. That would mean the low's already in and we're ready to ignite and go straight to new highs. So that's something I think you got to be concerned about. We've traded very well all year, so, you know, I've got some stops here above these lows. If you're hodling, you don't have any positions longer term, I think you just need to buy here. And if they move against you, add a little bit more, so I don't think I'd be too concerned. These are good prices, 81.56 on Bitcoin, I think is cheap. A break could come while we're all asleep, whatever. Or while you're asleep, I probably won't be asleep. So, pretty well, I've got alarms set at every $100 on Bitcoin. So I get a choo-choo train coming through the house on every 100-point move. So, but again, we've got new lows here on the volume with price holding. Looks like maybe this is a 1, 2, or an AB. So I still think we hold here, work higher short term. And then same thing, Litecoin is holding in here. Yeah, this could be a leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which mean a rally to 58, 59, and then an ABC pullback. This could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. Could be a triangle, etc. So I'm not really sure. That's why we haven't really been too excited about getting on YouTube here, because we're kind of, you know, we've traded well, we've got good buys on, and just really watching these things a little bit. Somebody mentioned being live 24/7. We really are that way on Discord. I mean, Nick and I both sleep a little bit at night, but we're pretty well live in there.
Yeah, I think we got
almost
about a
24 hours
4-hour
a day.
gap. I usually go to bed around midnight and get in there at 6, 7 a.m. and Todd usually goes to bed at 4 and then gets on there. So, I think we only have like a 2 to 4 hour gap where we're not available for questions. And usually before either of us go to bed, we kind of give a nightly recap, make sure people have their stops if that's necessary, or give out any buys if we can. So try to do that.
And same thing here. This is Ethereum. There could be an ABCDE, which would be a leading diagonal. Everyone, if you've been on here much, know I trade those things. So that's a classic one here with an ABC pullback. That could be a 1-2. We're ready to ignite to the upside. So again, I think there's some risk here, but I just think you got to be long. We've taken a ton of money out of these markets, and I think now's the time. You don't want to have too close to stop and try to ride this next wave. I'm still saying I think, we're going to end this year extremely strong, I think. So just these next few days will be interesting here.
Well, let me just parlay that comment into something real quick, into one of the news articles, and then we'll come back so you can take a look at a couple other charts like Ethereum Classic, ADA, and some of the kind of mid-cap players. So, Todd thinks the end of the year that we're going to probably have some kind of strong movement. And I just received a random message in my inbox. Somebody asked, hey, what is your end-of-year prediction? And I kind of, I said, well, let's extend the timeline. I think by May of 2020, that Bitcoin is going to be 24,000 to 32,000. Yes, all-time highs, and yes, significantly higher than those all-time highs. Now, this ended up being a writer for CCN that did publish these statements, so now I'm officially on the record. So I think when you try to get too cute in these smaller time frames, you got to think of the bigger picture. I would say not everybody, but 75% of you that are watching this and probably about 85% of you that are in our Discord believe that much higher prices are coming for Bitcoin, altcoins, and really the crypto ecosystem as a whole. So I think like Todd was saying, we've been pulling money out of the market all year. We sold higher or got stopped much higher. We bought back in at 78 to 8,200. So don't get too stressed, don't get too emotional, and don't think on too small of time frames. You got low risk entries, you got good entries. Now let's let the market work for you. Now we do have stops here on Bitcoin, at least on the trading bag, which should probably be 30 to 50% of your holdings. But even if Bitcoin stabs down here below 7,700 one more time and then starts its upward ascent into the next bull cycle, does that really matter in the big scope of things? Like trying to trade each and every move, the 5-minute chart, the $100 move, you're going to catch yourself on the wrong side of trades. You're going to catch yourself paying a lot of fees, and you're going to catch yourself probably with a smaller Bitcoin bag, because it's been proven time and time again that day traders, very small percentage of them are successful. Now, if you're doing swing trading, which is probably more of what me and Todd do, that your success rate increases because you're not getting stopped out for small losses over and over again. You're not eating up a ton of fees from trading all the time, and you're going to have a bigger picture of the macro fundamentals and where the market is going in the future. So you're going to catch the big rallies, and that's what we see coming for Bitcoin. The institutional infrastructure is being built and being complete. I know we've been talking about this for a long time, but they are dragging their feet. But more and more money, whether it's Coinbase custody saying they're getting 200 to 300 million per week, backed volume is starting to increase. ErisX is about to launch. Grayscale isn't slowing down. They're only growing. These are pointing to more and more people. The smart money is putting money into the ecosystem, while the retail money is either having cold feet or they're just getting margin traded out of this ecosystem. They're trying to margin trade, they're trying to leverage trade, and they're just losing all their money, which I think is stalling the growth of this ecosystem. But stalling and the growth not happening at all are two totally different things, and that's why I have the Bitcoin forecast at 24 to 32,000 by May of 2020. May of 2020 might sound like a familiar date. That is around when the halving will be occurring for Bitcoin. I think leading into the halving, whether that's end of this year or early next year, you're going to start to see the trend reversal for Bitcoin. We're going to start approaching new highs for the year, and I think that only accelerates after the halving, and that's when we'll have the next exponential blow off top for this ecosystem, and the next market cycle will then be complete. All right, Todd, you're on. What you got? You got some charts over there?
I was going over this article that Tony M. just threw up about the China. Maybe there'll be flight to capital, different things. Because like somebody made a comment like, what's going to be the driver for Bitcoin, I presume, to go to all-time highs. But I think that's, what was the driver to take us from 3120 to 14,000? I don't know if there's any news. Was there? I mean, that
Not
rally
really.
just happened.
Speculation on institutions coming in play, but
Right.
that was occurring the entire time as we went to 3,200. So I don't think that's the case.
And
I
then
just think
Right. And then you talk about bat and all that coming, and, that was ended up being somewhat bearish, which really we called here. So I don't know if we need any driver. I think it just could happen because
slow adoption of the technology. People
Right.
in the ecosystem continue to buy. They bring new people to the space. I think institutions will start using it as a hedge for portfolios. We've said this in the past, but we haven't in a while. So I'll say it real quick and let Todd get to the charts. Even if institutions, like they do with precious metals, say use 3 to 5% of your investable income or assets into gold or silver, if they say that for Bitcoin and crypto, I don't know. I work in the industry, so the big numbers don't really jump off the paper to me. But for those who don't, there is a lot of zeros behind the number of assets that are in investments. Clients that are 100 billion is not outside the norm. That are a couple billion is not outside the norm. Now start multiplying those by 3 to 5%, and then multiply that across all the clients, institutions, pension plans across the nation, across the globe, and you put that into an ecosystem where all the investable assets, the native cryptocurrencies of these underlying companies, protocols, monetary systems, all have a finite supply with a set inflationary rate, and it all adds up to massive increase in price per coin. Now, I don't know if I'm in the McAfee 1 million club. I'm not going to make any promise like that, but I think it is very realistic to go to all-time highs. I don't think 20,000 is going to be, we're never getting there again for Bitcoin. I think we're going to go much higher. I think the strong alts will survive. They will thrive and probably set new all-time highs as well. And we'll be happy that we were in this ecosystem this entire time. Not to mention the trades that you do, pulling money out, mining, ROI, whatever it may be. But just realize there's a lot of investment money. And if just a small percentage of that comes to this ecosystem, that is massive. The gold market itself is, over $1 trillion, $2 trillion, $3 trillion. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, all of them combined, is $250 billion.
Peter, I don't do much drinking of beer. I'll drink 1 or 2 beers, but
like
somebody asking
vodka.
about some dominance charts. I mean, here's the one we've always talked about. I talked about Bitcoin dominance going to 72. It did overshoot that. I still don't. For me, it's tough to put technicals on that type of chart. And then someone mentioned they wanted to comment on this chart. That was Steve-O. And again, there, I mean, I think this was a triangle here. That was probably a meaningful low for something. I don't know whether this is a 1, 2, 3. Maybe working on a triangle before higher. I mean, I don't know about the alts. I think you got to pick and choose your trades. I mean, I had even mentioned Link on here last time. That's been a favorite of Nick's. That one looks like, it's got a good future to us. So that's been a good trade.
Yeah, and it's not even just like a favorite of like, I'm holding this and we're just riding this up and down. Though we've been making trades, and you can see them on Twitter, and those aren't fabricated because those are all time-stamped in Discord as well. So we've pulled double-digit and upward of 30% gains out of Link several times this year. I think it has a good story. They're going to have a lot of good fundamentals coming as far as staking soon. So I think it's one that we're going to continue to try to pull gains out of and try to add more coins to the bag when we deem fit. So right now we have a protective stop in after buying after the buy zone was hit not once but twice of 145 to 152, and we'll see where we lock those gains in and see how much Link can give us here if Bitcoin wants to cooperate.
Steve-O says he wants me to zoom out though. I mean, there again, I think this would be a spring and an uptrend. So I do think alts are cheap here, and that's kind of what we've been saying with Bitcoin is 7,800, 8,200, where I thought we was going to bottom out. I think alts are doing the same. So I think instead of getting cute, looking really short term, that alts are definitely going to be oversold here, and I think we're going to still go much, much higher. So. Yeah, Steve, I'd agree with that. So, yeah, still much, much higher. And then then again here, what was I going to say about, somebody mentioned about, we got some stops below us. If I get stopped out on anything short term, I think it's just going to be, a quick 300 or 400 through the lows. while we're all asleep and then right back up. So if you get stopped out on long positions here, you better be ready to quickly come right back in. I don't think it's going to be one of those get stopped out and wait a month. I mean, so you got to make a decision, I think, whether you want to have the stops in and miss the trade, or we'll try to raise the stops maybe here in the next day or two. I don't know. And I really think if you don't use any stops and just wake up a few months from now, you'll be okay. So most people don't want to do that, but I think we're making a major low here. Everybody knows we've called the whole rally up. We've called the correction. I got the break I wanted. I said 8,200 was probably my first point because I thought it'd be a little more upward slanting, because really 75, 7,600, 7,400 is the real chart support. So we could go down there. So maybe, maybe we're still going to go down and do that 7,400 or something. That wouldn't scare me at all. At that point, I would mortgage the farm and trade in the wife, do all those things. And I'd buy lots of stuff there. So
we'll take a look at ADA for somebody, and then maybe BNB as well.
ADA USDT. I mean, that's one that we've been trying to be long with support down here that we showed before. Really, it's right back into that range. So again, a lot of the alts look horrible. That one's not too bad, but wouldn't be one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I think it's one that...
But a cheap one.
Yeah, I think it's one that they don't really rely on short-term price action or the hype. They're kind of just building away, and they've underperformed due to the lack of releases or hype. But I think here in the short-term future, as long as they can get the protocol upgrade, add staking, take it from testnet to mainnet, they did just make a partnership with New Balance, I believe, where they're going to use Cardano's blockchain to validate the real shoes from the fake shoes. So all that is looking good, but their slow and methodical process obviously does not help the retail view, and the price action is pretty evident there on the chart. But I think it's one that we try to maintain long, nothing too major, but we like to try to stay long when we can in these zones and rebuy back in these zones, hoping that over time this thing will get its name back in the spotlight. We'll see some nice gains, see some staking, and see some real use case opportunities for ADA as well.
And I don't try to give my stops out. I mean, I try to stop doing that. The thing is, my stops are hidden from the exchange, so whatever I say doesn't mean that's where my stops are. So there might be a little bit of gunning for my stops, but not really, because they've missed my stops by $2 before on Bitcoin, which is nothing. So I don't think it's that big a deal for people to know where my stops are.
And if you want to know where they are, then you got to be in Patreon or Discord.
And if they're at a place, if I'm stopped out, I still think that we're taking out a level that doesn't make any sense. So I really don't care if everybody knows where my stops are for real. BNB USDT, another one, big pullback. I would think is cheap. I mean, it had a way bigger run than everything else and a way bigger pullback. We came back to about 0.618, I'm guessing. So again, a decent coin, but not one of my favorites. We'll go and look at PAGs, because here's GDX still. This is a short sell I gave to Discord and also to pro traders. Caught the high exact here. You can see we did get oversold down here. I didn't cover because I thought we'd break this low more than we did. We just tagged a little bit through it. Today's price action looks pretty shitty, so which is good for us. So I still think there's more downside here. Technometer is oversold, so be careful. I wouldn't let this thing run back above this high of today. Otherwise, we're short at really good prices. Somebody asked about PAGs. That's one not on my software on this computer. I like the way PAGs looks here is all I can say. My Wyckoff wave is oversold. It was that way coming into today. We did get a reversal today. You can see down here at 38. I think it's really probably just a bounce here. I don't think we're starting a run to new highs. If you look at SPY, technometer not as friendly, 45.46. Again, a big reversal today, but not big volume. So I think really just probably a short covering dead cat bounce, probably. And then TLT. I had said stocks would go lower this week, bonds higher, and that's pretty well worked out. Somewhere here, bonds will probably be a sell, but not yet. neutral technometer again. So nothing really there. I will bring up Square. That's one we've liked, got stopped out of. That one I think is cheap here. So I think I mentioned last time we was live on YouTube, you might just want to buy it and have it. Looking for a buy signal, but hopefully I can get it here. The current setup's not going to give it to me, so that's why I said you might just want to own it again. But I'll try to give a buy on that when appropriate. Let's look at Telephone. That's one that I'm long, and you can see here technometer coming off oversold again. Today was a reversal. That one might be one I'll add to right in through here. We're long this. It's not on my chart here. I think we're long back here at 34.80 or so. So I've still got a winner in that, and I think that one will go to new highs here. That's a nice sideways little correction here. Why the rest of the market was coming down hard.
So I want you to take a look at Shopify as well.
Telephone looks good.
AT&T, you mean?
What did I say? Telephone?
Telephone.
Yeah, that's what I know about.
That's how they're making their money, because their cable right now is shit in the bed. Can't even get Red Zone going. I just canceled because they don't even have Red Zone and NFL Network on.
Telephone just shows I've been trading for years. There's Shopify. I mean, one that got cratered. Big turnaround today, because you can see when the markets came down the last 3 days, Shopify did not give it up, and then right back to it. So Shopify, Square, maybe even Twitter that we was long. That one maybe, again, holding up pretty well. Coming back and testing areas that it broke out here to the left. So technometer's not oversold. So those are ones we're going to watch in the next buyback or the next buy signal in the general market, see if we can pick up some of them. So, and that's all. 81.72 Bitcoin.
If we can get and close above that 82.50, I think that's really good price action out of Bitcoin. When everybody was panicking with the red bar we saw earlier today. What do you think, Todd?
I think so, yeah. Somebody mentioned XLE here. A new guy, Womack. Again, technometer neutral, bouncing off oversold. Give you that sell when it gapped up and then just gave it up. I don't like XLE for real. I will go back. Let's do the software takes like XLE and monitors the volume on XLE. But if I go to Wyckoff Wave Oil, the software actually takes all the individual holdings and calculates the volume and adds it all together. So a much better reading over here on WWO. And you can see here we was oversold coming into today. So that's a big rally today. I don't know what, I'd have to check into that, make sure that was correct. This software doesn't normally have any errors. But as you can tell, it just gave a buy yesterday before today's rally. And that's a big green bar. So the software on our indicator, on our indexes, all these here actually monitors every holding inside the index. So it's a much cleaner read on trade recommendations. So
let's go to the chat box and see what's going on. We got somebody wanting you to take a look at QNT here in a little bit. So if you want to write that down. Somebody wanted to ask how we feel about XLM or XRP. These are ones who started running about a week ago, gave up all their gains. They now have done a full retrace. But why do we have our eyes on them? We have our eyes on them because historically the XRP Swell Conference leads to nice price appreciation for XRP. Well, this year XLM and Jed McCaleb really wanted to stick it to XRP and Ripple. So they're having their own conference in November as well. I believe the sweet spot is somewhere 3 to 4 weeks. Look to get an entry in 3 to 4 week range, or on any further weakness on XRP or XLM. It's kind of a coin flip, and see if we can get some nice price appreciation. Now, a lot of people on Twitter are going crazy. They're like, "Oh, into Swell, we're going to the moon, baby. We're going to $1, $1.50, $2." I'm not really looking for that. If I can get into XLM or XRP, if I can get XRP around 23, 24 cents and ride a nice 25% gainer to 50% gainer, that is huge for me, and that's where I'm really targeting. While everybody else is looking for 100%, 200% gainers from Swell, I'm going to draw it down, and I'll be selling into that strength. I'm looking for maybe a 25 to 35% gainer and see if then I can reconvert that back to Bitcoin, add into that Bitcoin bag, which all of you should be doing as well. And then somebody said Stinky Linky continues to keep on trucking. Stinky Linky is one that we are long on now from the 145 to 152 level. And we got a nice profit stop in place over on Discord. So if you want to know where that is, you need to go to patreon.com/learncrypto. And we'll continue to monitor that coin and raise the stop as we find appropriate. There is strong overhead resistance coming for Link. So if you're more aggressive, I do give out for those who are aggressive where they could sell, and then for those who want to let it run, the stop there as well. So that's what we're looking at on Link. Now, talking about fees in the ecosystem and why Coinbase keeps shooting themselves in the foot. Well, they just updated the Coinbase Pro feed structure. You would think, oh my God, I was about to scroll down. I was about to see cheaper fees or zero fees. We do know Binance US is a zero fee for a little bit for new US customers. Binance does have pretty low fees at 0.1% or 0.15% that you can get cut in half or reduced if you own BNB as well. But no, that's not the case. Somebody in our Discord actually did break it down. They are doing something kind of strange. For big accounts, 100 to 300 million volume or larger, you actually get a cheaper fee. But from $0 to $10,000 in volume or $10,000 to $50,000, you have a much steeper fee, almost a double up in costs for your taker and a triple up in costs for a maker fee. That is mind-boggling to me. Why? Because Coinbase forever has been the fiat on-ramp, the fiat gateway for new retail investors. So who do you think you should be appeasing, and what client base do you think you should be appeasing? That would be the retail investors, who are all going to be probably in that $0 to $50,000 volume per month range. So why are they reverting this? They said they are doing this to bring more volume to their exchange, but I think they're really misunderstanding the market dynamics, and they're going to be losing a lot of retail customers. So I think that is going to hurt the volume over there. By all the big volume players, let's be honest, they can move the market drastically, and a lot of them are using trading bots. Retail investors, not so much. So that is why we've seen lately that Coinbase pricing is either too high or too low compared to other large exchanges like Binance, KuCoin, and others. And I think that has to do with a lot of retails leaving, and now you have a lot of trading bots and big whales over there, and that's why we're seeing people getting wicked out of stops, while over on Binance we weren't even close to stops. So this is another step towards not good for Coinbase, in my opinion. We'll see if they come back and change this again. Like I said, Binance US, 0% fee. Binance.com, 0.1%, much cheaper than even their old fee structure. So I think Coinbase is kind of giving into the competition here. I don't understand what is going on or why they chose to do this. Like I said, they said that it was to bring more volume to the exchange, but really I just think they're going to be losing a lot of users. This is also going to be hurting any kind of price action we see from new Coinbase listings moving forward, as there's just not going to be as many retail investors over there to buy up the new coins as they're listed. They're going to find their way to Binance, find their way to Binance US, find their way to KuCoin, and we'll just have to keep you up to date on what's going on with Coinbase here in the near future.
Charles Schwab just went to zero trading on stocks, and then Coinbase triples their fees.
Right, and in traditional markets, we're seeing the competition as well. I mean, how much was the fee when you were trading in the pits? $50 a trade, $100 a trade, and then recently we got down as low as to $4.95, and now it's going to zero. So the competition's out there, and I think that increasing fees does not usually drive more volume or more users, in my estimation. What do you think, Todd?
I don't know what they're doing. That's a problem.
I mean, they're doubling and tripling. That's crazy. Well, while I have the screen, let's do the giveaway from the last live show. If you don't know what I'm about to do, well, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and then after this video, leave a comment in the comment section below with your RPD Rapids wallet address or your Telegram handle if you are in their RPD tip bot, and then watch us next time and see if your name is called, and I'll send you over some crypto. We've been doing RPD for a while. We've done Zen in the past, the Ethereum Classic. We're going to continue to do RPD here for a little bit, so check out the project, leave your address, and let's see who the winner is. Our last video here was about Bitcoin being bottomed or not, Google to break crypto, and backed causing the crash, as well as some crypto TA. If you want to check it out, it is still obviously great content. I mean, come on. I'll go ahead and copy this URL. And the winner is man, all these names are always so hard. Akinlolu Busala, and there is the Telegram handle because she or he is part of the RPD tip bot. So we'll go ahead and send you over 10,000 RPD right now from my phone. That easy. Congratulations, be an active community member, and we like to do giveaways. We like to give away crypto. We like to give away courses, and we do have some mugs and shirts that will probably be given away as well. We appreciate each and every one of you, and hopefully we can help you on your investment and educational journey. Of course, this is all entertainment purposes for both commodities, equities, and cryptos. I'm going to do this, Todd. You look at
Entertainment purposes, but we are here to make some money.
Right. You answer some questions or look at some charts. I'm going to go ahead and send this crypto on over.
But we're not giving individual investment advice.
Right.
I mean, Bitcoin's 81.90. Like I said, I'm still bullish here, looking for higher. So, Peter asked about the S&P. I mean, I think there's still some downside risk to the S&P, but I don't think the bull market's over. I think these low interest rates are here to stay. I think capital from around the world still is going to come to the U.S. So I still think if you buy the Squares, the Shopifys, Twilios, some of these and set on them, I think you'll still be all right. And if you buy Bitcoin here, you're going to be all right. And really any of the other alts probably at the time being. So I think interest rates stay low and we keep speculative juices running. And I think stocks, cryptos head higher together. I was a little bit concerned with stocks coming down that would drag down Bitcoin. I mean, 800 down on the Dow did not affect Bitcoin. So I'm kind of happy about that at the moment. But let's see.
Shout out to Ryan Giffen for subscribing. Good decision. Good decision.
And he's bearish, I guess, on Bitcoin. That's why we have markets. Everybody's got an opinion. I don't have, what else here? We could go over Ripple real quick. Everyone, I mean, Ripple, keep trying to figure out a way to count this thing. I don't know. This last low could have been the C wave. We was looking for that last break, but we're kind of slow off the bottom here. And I know we got a swell conference that's supposedly going to be friendly. You know, I traded it up quite a bit higher here. I haven't done much recently. But it is acting okay. So again, I think owning some here is good. And I'd buy some more on any dip.
Gary said he sold his Bitcoin at 600 and he's still waiting for that dip.
Somebody mentioned EOS earlier. And that's one that had a nice 5 waves on the way up. And I had that on a chart, but I guess I don't have it here. I mean, it's gotten a little bit deep. I think it is an ABC down X ABC. So again, I think it's cheap here. Owning some here is good. Buying the further dip is a good plan.
Ted Graham says XLM. XLM and Ripple, at least recently, have really been mirroring each other. So I think that's really a coin flip leading into the Swell Conference in November or the Stellar Conference. I don't really know what the Stellar Conference is called. So, I mean, very similar price action over the past couple weeks.
Same there. I mean, there's XLM. Not impressive chart. But as you said, probably cheap here again. What's up, Kelly? And then what do we got here?
Deepak Raj said he sold his Bitcoin at 140, but he hasn't been waiting for that anymore. Whoa.
Somebody mentioned NEBL. Neblio, again, not much to say there. Some of these coins could have big rallies, I'm sure, out of here percent-wise because they've been slapped so hard. But not one really that I follow nor trade. I pretty well stay in the big caps. Bitcoin shorts, I wish they'd come in a little bit more. If we go back to, I've been talking about this. Shorts are down here on the red line, not increasing. Green is longs, not overly long as well, but we got the blue line up here at high levels. That's not supportive of a major low here, so that is one thing that bothers me. That wouldn't stop me from being a buyer, which is not, but again, that's something that still a little bit worrisome. It'd be nice for shorts to come in here a lot more. But they might be doing, you know, there might be more shorts being done at the futures exchange and stuff like that. So there is other ways to be short versus these Bitfinex numbers. So That's why I don't lean on them totally. It's just something I'm aware of. QNT, another one I don't follow much. Here is QNT. No, that's QNTU. I don't think I have QNT on here then. Nope. BTC will likely lose market cap to alts. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's.
Mike's Junk 00 says RVN mining is better. Yeah, they did do an algorithm switch to get ASICs off of their network. Why is that good? That is better for decentralization, and that is better for the small fries and the at-home miners like ourselves. GPU mining is now the main source for the proof-of-work network of Raven. So you might start seeing your RVN profitability go up, but you will have to change up your mining algorithm. I usually recommend Bitsby multi-miner. I don't know if he's upgraded just yet, but he did say it was in his plans. That's what I use. So I just kind of been lazy waiting for him to update that, and then I'll run at least one of my mining machines or my gaming mining rig over to RVN. The profitability was going drastically lower as a ton of ASICs were getting on the network, but I think them removing those ASICs is obviously going to be much more profitable. You're going to get way more coins, and now we'll see if they can continue to grow their infrastructure, get more projects on the Raven blockchain to get that price action getting back in the positive direction again, or at least give us some of those crazy spikes we were trading. It was probably about 4 or 5 months ago now. We were trading in and out as Raven was giving us a ton of 35 and 50% spikes that would completely retrace and allowing us to get back in for the next wave of price action.
Mr. Chor, want to know about NEO? I mean, I've showed this before. It looks just like, maybe we've done a huge 1-2. So on the downside, we had an ABCX, ABC. Again, the lows could be in, or maybe one more. So I think I'd own NEO here. We traded a lot of that back at the previous highs up here, but
I was on vacation and we were
really
up there buying and selling those highs up there.
When I had to sell at 13.1, 13.5, I really kind of shied away from the alts. So that's kept us out of total trouble. And again, down here, I'd own some here and I'd buy more on any break. And if you own it, just keep it and salt it away now.
Can you take a look at Ethereum Classic if you haven't? Somebody's asking about that. USD chart preferable.
I mean, there's the same 5 waves that we had counted on a lot of these charts. So there's different ways to count it off of that high, but most of them have been ABCXs, ABCs. So same type of thing, cheap here, own some here, buy some on a dip.
There we go.
Well, there's Litecoin at 56.60 or so, so it's
trying to come back to life after that dump earlier.
I mean, there's the shorter term 5-minute chart, so just broke to 56.80 here. So maybe that thing will lead us out of here. Let us lower, it'll lead us higher.
Nick, how long do you think it would take ICX and WAN to follow Aeon if it happens at all? Probably a day or so. As Aeon was continuing to come alive and ICX and WAN were trying to turn the corner as well, that's when Bitcoin had the I wouldn't even really call it a dump, but the hour and $150 red bar this morning. So I kind of slowed things down. They are picking it back up, so we'll see if those do follow like they have historically. Last time I think it was WAN first, ICX second, then Aeon. We'd made a play on all those. So that's more of a speculative sector play, higher risk. It's worked in the past several times. And a lot of us over in Discord already owned Aeon and ICX for sure, and a couple probably own WAN. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll put in some profit stops on the way, and we'll try to get our coins back on a dip and put all the profits into Bitcoin or USDT. That is kind of our trading philosophy. Trading alts, try to sell higher, get back in for lower, get back the original amount of coins. That is it, and put all the profits into Bitcoin or USD Tether, looking to add more sats to the bag. Ted Graham says BBT is a great resource. Yeah, he actually was in pretty close to St. Louis. He just moved, so I'm not sure where he is, but one of my mining rigs was actually built by Bitsby, and he sold it to me pretty much at cost. So I think we want to get him on here for an interview. It'd be cool to hang out with him again next time he's in the area. And I always recommend his show and his website if you're trying to mine, because that is where I learned about mining, and it really makes things easy just to get going.
We got Pablo Escobar in here, lost 58,000. That's chump change for Pablo. So bringing another load.
That's like me dropping $1 on the ground.
Right. And Kelly, I do think a lot of these alts are going to die. Yes, they all have been dying. I mean, there is a few here that still that Nick's trading, and I mentioned once in a while, but yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. And mostly with my PCGM, and I've really been Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum mostly. Traded some Neo, ETC, some of that back there when we was at the highs, but I've stayed away from most of that recently.
Greg Hall said, did I miss your BTC prediction for May of 2020? 24,000 to 32,000. That's what I'm going with. So we'll see. I think a run up into that range, a retest of the 20,000 highs, probably 18 to 20,000 retrace, and then we go again before we find a market top somewhere up there. I don't know what Todd thinks. Todd, what's your prediction? End of year, May of 2020, end of next year, next bull market cycle, whatever you want to choose. What do you think?
24 to 36,000 maybe.
24 to 36.
Is my guess. Again, I'm good looking out 3-4 weeks, so that's my sweet spot. We'll trade around that because should have some buy signals on the way up. Shouldn't be a problem. We called every rally on the way up from 31.50, so hopefully we'll do the same thing here if we're headed to 24,000.
Chris C says the indicators he used, including RSI, the 4-hour candles, and an inverted head and shoulder, all seem to be constructive and bullish. So we shall see.
Somebody asked still about my macro view on the U.S. stocks, and I think probably still lower short term. I just said a little bit ago, still higher long term. Low interest rates, I think, keeps the world coming here to buy stocks. Greg Hall is looking back 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah.
A lot of crypto Twitter is look good at looking back 3 or 4 weeks, and the hindsight trading experts. Too funny. But, you know, looking at historical charts are a good way to learn and learn from your mistakes or see how you could have traded better, but not a good way to post hypotheticals and try to brag about trading after it already occurred. I love people that like throw on, the descending triangle, obviously. I mean, that was so clear. Well, did you make a trade on it? Did you give a trade on it? No. Okay, well then your information you're providing helps nobody. And besides those who are misinformed or uneducated, and they fall into your traps and continue to lose money along with you.
I think another print above 8,200 tonight, 8,230 or so, still I think probably turns us higher. So I'd had a little breakdown at 8,200. I did some trading this morning around that area. I thought when it broke there, it might continue lower, but then we have held it together. So I'm a little friendlier than I was late last night because I was afraid we was going to break 8,200 last night. We did that this morning. So, but again, I think maybe this is ABC up to this wave 4, or we're doing a 1-2 and we're going to explode higher. So I still think you got to be long here.
There we go. We don't got much more to go, but if you go over to my Twitter, you can see, are you crypto stressed? Did your girlfriend leave you for a Chad? That's you, Gary O'Connell. I know your girl's already moved on to bigger and better whales as you lost all your crypto gains. Is your Bitcoin bag keep getting smaller, and are you trading on the 5-minute charts? Well, if you want to reduce the crypto Twitter noise and get on the right side of the markets, check out patreon.com/learncrypto. It's a month-to-month payment. We charge $40 for 24/7 access to me, to Todd, to Palm Beach, to syndicator bots, to a bunch of people. Over 620 people are in that Discord right now. And you can welcome aboard if you like the videos we do here, but you want more VIP access. Patreon has been a good home for us, and they don't take an exorbitant size fees. So we go ahead and go with it. Here's an example of kind of Todd's write-ups on stocks, bonds, and metals, and kind of morning briefings we try to do to keep you guys informed on where we think Bitcoin price is, where is it going, what are our stop levels, what big gainers do we have on alts, and where are we looking to buy alts. And then, of course, always reminding you that you can tag us with any questions pertaining to any markets, and we'll give you our best opinion without giving you, independent financial advice or whatever it's called. So go ahead and check us out on Twitter for free. Check us out on YouTube for free. LearnCrypto.io blog for free. But if you want to support us and get more access to the exact trades we're doing, to the exact minute we're doing them, then patreon.com/learncrypto is the place to be. If you think we're idiots and we don't apply Wyckoff method properly and you want to learn yourself, then on LearnCrypto.io we do have a Wyckoff and crypto trading course. Patreon members do get a 20% discount on that as well. Over 950 alumni for that course. So we've been here for a while. We've had no complaints. We've proven that our education and our philosophies work for the short, the mid, the long term, all while trying to have a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of fun, because life is short and you want to enjoy it. But adding some crypto, some coins, and some dollars to the bag help you enjoy life that much more.
What's up, Moscow Mule? We haven't seen you in a while.
Moscow, back in the house.
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I don't really have strong opinions on those. I mean, I would say higher if I had a gun to my head.
Tony M said, I thought Gary's girlfriend was named Chad. That's funny. It's good to see some of the names here that we haven't seen here in a while. Shout out to Tony M, OG. Gary O'Connell, OG. Moscow Mule, OG. Pablo Escobar has been around for a little bit. Maybe this is a different one because there's no wrench. Joseph Saab has been around forever. Greg Hall has been around forever. So good. Peter has been around forever. So good to see you in here. Good to see you hanging in there, making some money, having some fun, and adding more and more coins to those bags, I'm sure.
I hear you, Moscow. Yep. And low interest rates probably agree with you.
Def Fenprint
James
said
Brown,
XRP will never be $1,000. That's for sure. Yeah, I would agree with that. We have the people come in here saying $1,000 XRP, $10,000 XRP. I think that mathematically just does not make sense. I think XRP may have a rally. I prefer XLM and other options to XRP, but we will trade XRP, and I do not see $1,000 XRP ever. I'm not even going to say in my lifetime. I'm saying ever.
What up, Bryce? You're right. You have been here since crypto news. Josh. Come to Germany.
Oh, well, we'll get there. Hopefully soon. That'd be awesome. If we get the plane tickets over there, can we stay with you or know somewhere we can stay for cheap? That's half the cost right there is just finding a room and a bed.
Hannah Bry, what's up? Bringing out all the old names. We haven't been on here too much, and we kind of apologize, but just busy with Discord, and it takes a little bit of work to do this show. I mean, it takes 2.5, 3 hours out of the evening to do it. So,
and like you said, kind of apologize, but at the same time, we do have Patreon-only live shows. So say we're only live here 2 times. We might also do a Patreon video or Patreon-only live show that week as well. And like Todd said, we're in Discord 24/7. So we got to give our times and our brain power to those who are supporting us over there in Discord. So not always a need to get on here and go live on YouTube.
Joseph, I would go ahead and buy some Ethereum here. Yes. I'd probably buy 60% of my position in Ethereum here and then watch it for the next few days. What up, Rat Rod?
There you go. Tony M says they're finishing their full gut and renovation in the house, but once done, closer to Christmas, you guys are welcome to come with us. Come stay with us in Niagara Falls. I have always wanted to go there. I haven't been there. I know Niagara Falls on the United States side of the border is not very touristy. They never really built it up, so it's not really worth going. So you are on the Canada side. That's the side I want to go to. So we're going to have to create like a travel itinerary, get some recording stuff on the go, and do crypto blogs as we travel to some followers' locations and kind of see the world. That'd be really fun.
What up, Ruby?
Let's get Bitcoin to 24 to 36,000. Patreon from 675 people to 1,675, and then we'll be well on our way to start making those trips.
Now Kelly's talking my language. Costa Rica.
Whoa.
I like that.
I have a whole village that can be rented out. Whoa.
I'd go there like next week.
Right. Costa Rica's pretty cheap, too, from my understanding. Is that correct, Kelly?
I'm not going anywhere with Gary O'Connell.
Gary O'Connell to Bangkok? No, I will avoid that.
I'll need my lawyer with me. And what up, Connor? Yeah, I'd come down to Costa and go fishing.
For sure. Fishing is one of my favorite hobbies and pastimes. Why? Because it's kind of a sport and it's thrilling to catch the fish. It's also really relaxing. Get out to see the scenery, get away from the screens. I look at screens 16 plus hours per day. So to get out there, do something that's kind of athletic, maybe have a beer or two, catch some fish, look around. That's one of my favorite events to do. So anybody who has a lake or is close to an ocean or a river, I'm down for that.
When I got that 12th in the nation in college, I used to put on my positions and go fishing.
There you go.
That was with no internet, no nothing. I was just put a position on and don't worry about it. which a lot of people need to do more so now. Put a position. If you got a good position on good risk reward, no reason to babysit it. Go out, be with the family, do something. Stop the stress. So
50% of trading is just emotions and patience, really. Find the low risk entry, chill out, put a stop, come back later. The market's going to do its thing whether you're staring at the screen or not.
That's all I got.
That's all we got, I think, guys. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to watch the replay. We had a couple news articles. We had a giveaway. We talked about Bitcoin price action. And, of course, now I'm going to go watch the Cardinals playoff game and the NFL football game with the Discord screen always available. So if you have questions for us tonight, head over to patreon.com/learncrypto. It's still very early in the month. Now is the time to sign up. You do get access to all historical posts on Discord and patreon.com, and you will be eligible for the Patreon-only live show and giveaway for the month of October. That's it, Todd, right?
That's all I got.
Until next time, stay tuned for your daily updates on cryptocurrencies right here at Learn Crypto.
Peace out.
Oh, hey, stay positive, pal. Most people, when they lose, they whine and quit. But you gotta be there for the turns. Everybody's got good luck, everybody's got bad luck. Don't run when you lose.
Play hard, play clean. Be careful out there.
We'll see you all again. Sleep tight.